Whoa, Tuesday night on SportsGrid. Game time decisions. Kevin Walsh and Gabe Morency for the next hour. Though, in about 30 minutes, I might dip out of here and just tune into the pregame show on the NBA side because apparently Tyron Stokes will be announcing if he's going to Kentucky or Kansas in 30 minutes' time. And for those of you who don't keep, heavy tracks on what goes on with the high school recruits, I get it. But if you look at the last two Wooden Award winners, freshman, Tyron Stokes will have top 5 odds to win the Wooden Award next year, Gabe. And we're going to find out in 30 minutes if he's going to Kentucky or Kansas.
I got to tell you, Kevin, there's a lot of things going on in my head right now, and that's not at the top of it. Not that it's not a big story. Not that it's not a big story or not important. But I don't even know where to start. It's almost like, wow. How about the Champions League game today, bro? 5-4, 9 goals scored in the Champions League. And all hell is breaking loose. My favorite soccer team is on the verge of moving to Las Vegas from Vancouver right now. In a bizarro world, modern business type of like, how is this happening? How do you explain this to a child? But at the same point in time, last week, the mayor of Vancouver, Kevin, announced a Major League Baseball bid. Basically said, baseball's expanding, we want in, and I've got a group that wants to do this. And it just broke earlier in the day. It's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, but it's one of the biggest real estate developers in Vancouver, and Vancouver's a very prosperous real estate city, but okay, how the hell are you going to pull this off? You're just some sort of real estate dude. Well, reports are, Kevin, the San Francisco 49ers are the other partner. The San Francisco 49ers, it's called the 49er Group. They own Leeds. San Francisco 49ers are building a sport portfolio. There's just a report that came from a couple hours ago. They're involved in this bid for a Major League Baseball team in Vancouver. So a lot of stuff going on in the world, including, Connor McDavid is a game time decision tonight as well. But I got to believe, short of this guy having an axe in the back of his head, right, he's playing tonight.
I got to tell you, you want to talk about burying the lead. I had no idea Connor McDavid was questionable for
yeah.
The show talking about Tyron Stokes, Vancouver's getting losing teams. Yeah, by the way, best player in the world might not play facing elimination.
I sort of saved the best for last because I'm like, yeah, whatever, we'll get to it. I'm just saying my head is sort of spinning.
Yeah.
And it's like, by the way, the team that down is 3-1 and the best player in the NHL is a game time decision.
Oh my gosh.
I tell you what, he's injured. He didn't do the pregame skate today. It's like, all right, so what? Everybody's injured at this time of the year. Connor McDavid doesn't need to do a pregame skate to play in the game, but it's realer than that. It's like, no, it's going to be a game time decision whether he can sort of like play through the pain or not. I don't think it's going to be much of a decision. I think he's going to play through the pain. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they're automatically going to win the game. He didn't look very good, Kevin. He's been injured, but he looked good in the third period, ironically enough. Like the last 10 minutes of the game, the last game, he started to fly all over the place out of desperation. Dude, their season's on the line. He's not under contract for much longer, Kevin. The guy's a free agent after next year, bro. Like, this is getting real right now in Edmonton. Like, two cups in a row. One thing to lose to the Ducks. You lose in 5 to the Ducks, Kevin. You lose to 5 to the Ducks, and you lose on your home ice this series. Not a good look. They're already wanting to fire the coach and the general manager right now before the game's even started.
I think it's fair to say it was a weird year for Edmonton. They never felt like one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. McDavid, despite being, I think, the points leader, never seemingly was in the MVP race.
They are the Buffalo Bills. They are the Buffalo Bills. The Bills don't make it to the Super Bowl, but Connor McDavid is Josh Allen. They're both
McDavid's
MVPs.
Better than Josh Allen.
Yeah, in a sense, the McDavid, I'll give you that, Kevin. The McDavid is one of the greatest players that's ever played the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say, is Josh Allen one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game? It's a little bit steep. But
he could get there.
Okay, but I'm just, let's lay it out. Connor McDavid didn't win the gold medal in the Olympics. Didn't win the Stanley Cup twice. Right? Like, winning matters. Like, that's why Wayne Gretzky's there and Mario Lemieux's there, and you need to win to be an all-time great. Let's just call it out for what it is. And don't tell me your boy Aaron Judge is on the same path. Yeah, you're great. You never won. You're great. You never won. Connor McDavid, Josh Allen, Aaron Judge, personal attributes. No one's going to dispute. You're amongst the best. You're super rich. You got the trophy wife. You've got it all except the ring.
What I would just say about McDavid is I think he might be the best player in any sport ever to have not won a championship. Connor McDavid, Gabe, think about it. In 2025 or 24, to win a cup final MVP where they don't win. That only happened in the 60s and 70s. They don't do that anymore. They just go to the winning team. He's been the best player in the world for what, a decade? Like, does anybody argue that McKinnon's better than him or that Kucherov's better than him? Mahomes battles with Allen and Lamar, or Judge battles with Ohtani. Like, nobody thinks someone's better than McDavid in his era. It's about whether or not he individually breaks through. But is he not one of the 10 greatest, I'll call it, skaters of all time? Remove the goalies. I know that gets complicated.
No, even higher than that. Like, even higher than that. Like, from a physical standpoint, you could argue he's the best ever, but I don't have him. No, he's not. Like, he's not. We can't put him on that pedestal. In the same way, I'm not putting Paul Skeens ahead of Sandy Koufax right now, Kevin.
No.
Because he's had a couple of good starts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to actually do it. You've got to do it. Right? And listen, I'm not judging him by winning and losing only. But there's been some other great hockey players besides Connor McDavid. Right? He is a great player. And I think there's like kind of a gap. But you talked about, is anyone to say Nate McKinnon? Well, all right. McDavid might be a little flashier and stuff like that. But a lot of people, if you asked, all right, who do you want? Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid? I'll go with Sidney Crosby personally. Right? I mean, we're not here to have a hockey debate, but Connor McDavid doesn't play great defense. Connor McDavid doesn't always back check. Connor McDavid is very offensive minded. Connor McDavid partially cost Canada a gold medal by trying to skate through three players in overtime. It led to the fast break that led to the goal. So let's change the subject. I'm starting to get upset. I got a lot of things on my mind.
Well, I hear
about his greatness. I got a parlay with the Edmonton Oilers
so do
and
I.
the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, I don't have the Avalanche.
The Avalanche already did it and swept. Here I am about to lose this series tonight. So let's slow down on his greatness.
Now, I use the Oilers. So I did this tonight, Gabe. And it might be ridiculous. I took the Philadelphia Phillies with 4 other teams. I did 4 two-leg money line parlays. I took the Phillies and the Oilers, Phillies and the Mets, Phillies and the Dodgers, and the Phillies and the Guardians, who are coming up next.
Wow.
So, kind of you take the unit, multiply it, cut it in half type of thing. Because I didn't want to just bet, minus 156 Philly. But there's a couple of different spots out there. If I go 2-2, you make a bit of money. 3-1, not bad. 4-0, hooray. So that's what I did, Gabe. I cannot see the Philadelphia Phillies losing this game tonight at home. I can't see it.
Well, I was dead wrong. Listen, the managerial bump generally works. It does. Like, it's one of those. Yeah, you blindly bet it, and you hope for the best. I got to tell you though, just the frustration for me before the year started. Nobody thought that. People were like, Rob Thompson's not getting fired. What are you talking about? The Phillies going to be good. Said, yeah, that's my choice to be the first manager fired. Missed by what? Like 28 hours, 24 hours, 22 hours? Son of a...
It's like, you would think you worked for the Phillies. Like, nobody in Philly knew that was coming. All right, we're here. We're on SportsGrid. We're off and running. Gabe, I know we're on air. I know that. We're making it happen. I just sent you the link if you'd like to tweet it out to all your people, just because I know some of the stuff's not working right now. For those of you who may watch on Twitter and whatnot, we have a lot to get to tonight here, as Gabe said, which is what I do love about doing this show. We both acknowledge we had a lot to get to. And in the A block, we went high school basketball, Vancouver sports teams, and is McDavid a top 5 or top 10 player of all time? But that's just kind of how you know that you got it going.
The
early
real question is whether he's playing or not tonight, right? That's what
the
we
real question is. What happens if he doesn't play with Edmonton's backs against the wall? And you've seen that number move a little bit throughout the day, under -160 on the money line. That's the cheapest home price we've seen for the Oilers in this series so far. I feel like, Gabe, though, the NBA playoffs, there's ebbs and flows to the postseason, but man, I thought yesterday we individually had, I think, 2 of our better looks. I was super happy with the Bones Highland play. He got through that all the way up to 15. And the second you said it, I went, man, that is on the money. Naz Reid's rebounds. Naz Reid, there was a moment I thought he was the latest Timberwolf to, with a lower leg injury. He just came right back out, kept grabbing rebounds, flew over the prop that you gave out. Some of these props right now, Gabe, they're ripe for the picking, I feel, in the NBA postseason.
I'll tell you what, looking at the card tonight as well, I am interested. It's getting real right now in the NHL, right? Like we talked about the Anaheim and the Edmonton game, it's an elimination game. So it's not a cliche that's a must win. It's a must win for Edmonton. It's an elimination game. We're tied at 2. With Dallas and Minnesota. It doesn't get any bigger than this, especially between these 2 teams right now. They're so evenly matched. To get that 3-2 lead and just need one more win will be massive. And then you get Buffalo looking for their first playoff win, series win in forever. But when it comes to a betting perspective tonight, Kevin, I'm intrigued more so by the NBA, and I don't want to overthink things, right? We talked about it last night. In which we talked about, you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, they sweep teams in this spot. They've done it the last 2 times they were in this spot. They did it again. They handled their business. And, the NBA sort of plays to its trends, I find. Hockey is a little more unpredictable. So where I'm going with this is, why does the number come down tonight? Like, in what world would you be confident in saying, I'm taking the Philadelphia 76ers tonight? Right? Like, in what world?
Yeah.
The Celtics have 1 game a series in which they don't shoot well, and then they just terrorize you and they murder you in the other 4 games that they win. Not to mention the Celtics are going to watch and know that the Knicks and Hawks are about to beat each other up forever, right? This is it tonight. So then put it this way, Boston losing this game tonight? No. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, they just won by 34. Either. They won by 32 in game 1. Right, so they're losing, so then it gets down to the point spread. And no one really loses and covers like anymore, it seems, in the NBA. And it's down to 10 right now. And guys, I don't like laying double digits normally, but I don't have a problem doing it. Similar situation. I've hyped up this Portland team a lot, and, I stand by it. But they've hit the wall. I mean, reality is kicked in for them right now. And just as far as Boston, guys, they're an NBA best 56-31 against the spread. This year. They won the opener 123-91. They just won 128-96. Like, what's going to be different tonight? And then you get into San Antonio. San Antonio as well, guys. All 3 wins that Kevin in the series and everybody by the Spurs have been by 12 points or more. The 1 game they lost, Wembanyama got hurt. He left the game. Let's give credit to the Blazers. They won the game. They've just hit an offensive wall. And San Antonio, a lot like Oklahoma City, they do have a killer instinct, Kevin. I think they're going to show it tonight. They're going to be banging the drum. They're not losing this game. So then it gets down to, all right, are Portland really going to hang around for the entire duration of the game? We saw Phoenix die on their sword last night, but they couldn't hang around for the full distance, Kevin. I think the 2 double-digit favorites win tonight and cover the number. I think the Knicks win, but I'm not so sure about the Knicks covering the number. We've seen how close this series is.
Yeah, it has been back and forth. Like, I feel like these teams are dying for it to be decided by, a final basket, right? Between 1, 2, and 3. I will say for Portland and San Antonio, that is the one dog that I am interested in with the Blazers because the Spurs now 2 games in a row, Gabe, have trailed by 15 and still proceeded to win by double digits. So that can go against me. If the Spurs start hot, this might be 35. This could be ugly, ugly, ugly. But sometimes teams don't learn lessons until they get burned. And I wonder if the Spurs spot the Blazers another double-digit lead, but this time they put themselves behind the wall. Portland, to me, when I say they feel live, they are nowhere near as good as the Spurs. That's been shown. I wonder if that youth could rear its head a little bit here because this Blazers team, they fight. I don't think they will quit. Some teams
they play
quit,
hard.
Gabe.
Yeah.
Portland is not with Drew Holiday, not with Thiago Splitter leading the way as their head coach. I think Portland fights to the very end here. So I thought they were worth a shot at the 11.5 number.
I was going to call by you yesterday, and I brought it up and agreed. And I said, listen, Dylan Brooks isn't going to quit. And I called it to a T, in which I said, they'll be down 19. He'll play hard. He'll still be celebrating like it's a tie game. Right?
He hit the 2 biggest baskets for that cover. I swear to you, Gabe.
Yeah,
I was up the whole way. I'm serious. He flipped that cover. He really did. Because Devin Booker was furious. Jalen Green was rattled. And Dylan Brooks was like, sick. Never been my time more. ISO ball. Bucket. Right back to back.
Yeah, but we talked about, and you're right, Phoenix, you're right, Green started to get worn out. Booker got frustrated and tapped out. But they played hard for the most part, right? They really did. They hit the wall with like 4 minutes left in the game, and that's when they sort of like reality really kicked in for them. But remember, I talked about, all right, maybe Phoenix are live in the first half. And I didn't play it. And I was kicking myself for not playing it because I'm like, damn, look, it's tied, man, with like a minute left. Just like that, Kevin, you look up. It's like, wow, Oklahoma City are up like 7, like 8, just like that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, just like that. Like, it's like, no. Like, boom. They go on these little runs, and I sort of get the same feeling. It's very Michigan-like. Michigan played a game at Northwestern this year. They were laying like 13 and a half. They were down by like 14 with 9 minutes left and ended winning by 12, Kevin. Right? Like, they flipped the script so much. The Spurs kind of do that, and they dance with the devil a little bit too much, but I think they do show the killer instinct, and even if Portland play their hearts out tonight, the math won't add up by the end of the night. I think the Spurs cover.
Fair enough. We're going to continue to follow both postseasons, but we'll talk to Craig Mish about the Phillies' decision to fire Rob Thompson next on SportsGrid.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget, who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here. Because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions on SportsGrid. We're now joined by Craig Mish, host of Newswire, right here on SportsGrid, alongside Pro Baseball Today, covering all things Major League Baseball for us. And Craig, I got to tell you, we had a stretch of April baseball where we're like, it matters. It's not the most important thing that's ever happened. A couple of organizations, though, have gotten off to such disappointing starts that they have had to make some pretty drastic decisions. And the Red Sox went first with Alex Cora. Now it's the Philadelphia Phillies' turn with Rob Thompson as they fire their manager here. Before we get to May, what is your reaction to this move by Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think very different, Kevin, than the one in Boston, where I'm not really sure what the clear message will be when they move forward. The message for Philadelphia is we got to win, and we got to win right now. I mean, there's no question about that. Older players on their roster, players who could end up being Hall of Famers one day, but probably not Hall of Famers in terms of their performance right now and may not ever get back to that. Also, Dave Dombrowski himself, probably a Hall of Famer. He's, won a World Series with Miami. He took the Tigers to the World Series, won a World Series in Boston, was hoping to win a World Series in Philadelphia. Rob Thompson wins 90 games almost every year he manages, and he's out of a job. So why? Because they're going to put their foot to the pedal here and ask Don Mattingly to try to get them to the playoffs. Donnie, certainly was manager of the year in Miami at one point, didn't have as much success in LA as he did with the Marlins getting them there. So I'm guessing he's just hoping to catch a little lightning in a bottle here, Kevin. But I don't see these two situations as the same at all. I think Philadelphia is in it to win it and in it to win it right now.
Yeah, so the position that Donnie Baseball finds himself in. I mean, Craig, obviously, you saw him up close and
I know him well.
Yeah, right. I mean, for his
Very
time, in Miami. How do you view the position Don Mattingly is in, taking over for this Phillies ball club here?
Right. Look, if the reports are accurate, and seemingly they are, from USA Today, that they offered the job to Alex Cora, Alex would be out of his mind to not just take the year off and accept the money and relax with his family and what would join a team that's 10 games under 500. I mean, what would be the best case scenario for Alex Cora there? To be okay and then not be offered the job like in a year or something like that? I don't even know what the thinking was there. Cora will be fine. He'll either manage the Phillies or the Astros or somebody else in the future and just choose his best situation in the future whenever that presents itself, whether it's next year or the year after that. I don't know the answer to that. Look, as far as Donnie is concerned, so Donnie, Kevin, is still hanging around because his son is. I mean, he can't tear the jersey off Donnie. He was bench coach with the Blue Jays. Obviously, he's going to keep doing this until somebody tells him he can't anymore. But his son Louis, he has an older son Preston, who's now his boss. He's got a younger son Louis, yet very young son, who is now starting to understand the game of baseball and loves traveling around with him and loves being at the ballpark. And I think this is going to be an amazing family experience for him, for Louis to see his dad as the manager, because when he was with Miami, he was very young, 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old, etc. Now he gets it. And I'm happy for him, and I'm happy he's getting this chance. But I did not think that Donnie would get another chance to manage at all in the big leagues. I did not think so after his end term with Miami. But you know what, Kevin? If the Phillies make the postseason, guess who's going to be the manager of the Phillies next year? It's going to be Don Mattingly again, right? So
yeah,
I hope it works out for him. I like him very, very much, and I can't wait to see him this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool opportunity, right? I mean, it's kind of a pressure. I don't want to say a pressure-free situation, right? But
There's
it's kind
no
of free roll.
There's no losing
right.
for him.
Yes,
there's no losing in this situation.
It's not on Don Mattingly if this Phillies roster doesn't make it to the postseason. I guess the interesting thing now and I really love how you kind of put it, Philly more than Boston, where Boston might just be tearing it all down.
I'm not sure.
I wonder what the benchmarks for Philly are, where they're like, okay, we've salvaged this. Let's buy at the deadline. Or, okay, we like the direct. I know we're far away from that, Craig, right? But does this team need to just see 500 baseball? Like above that, I'm curious.
I think that is a fair statement. 500. I think 500, knowing Dave Dombrowski and his world, 500 means there's a shot that they could make it at the deadline. Yes. And maybe even a little bit below that, Kevin, I think, just knowing the way that Dombrowski wants to fight. You know who it reminds me of? And he just did his press conference yesterday. We aired some of it on Newswire. Pat Riley. Same thing. There's never going to be a season where the Heat is not going to fight and try to win. Doesn't matter that they haven't done anything in years. The Phillies are going to fight under Dave Dombrowski. This is the way it is. He doesn't go through rebuilds. Look at Montreal. He left Miami when it started to go to, when that rebuild started, to go to Detroit, ended up going to the World Series there, winning the World Series in Boston. He's going to try and win in Philly right now.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's a tough one for Miami fans because I think it is true. Because Riley's like, yeah, I'm not leaving anyway. Just run it back, run it back. Craig, thank you so much. We will be right back with more Game Time decisions on SportsGrid.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget, who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing, as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here. Because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you guys here on Game Time Decisions. Still plenty to get into here. Let me actually pop over, though, to the Major League Baseball board, just in case there's anything calling. I know sometimes, Gabe, like, so much going on elsewhere, it may not be worth it, but there are actually a lot of 640 starts here. Maybe someone in the back's got a 640 best bet, which would absolutely be acceptable. But, Gabe, was there anything baseball-wise that was really catching your attention? AJ's best bet is a 640 Cardinals money line up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, this St. Louis team. Just still chugging along here right now, 2 games over 500. Anything in the 640 window catch your eye, Major League Baseball?
Now, you know what? They finally lost a baseball game last night with our boy Messick on the hill, which was a little bit disappointing. We fell short with the Cardinals as well. The one look that I have actually is later on, 740. 740, not 640, but Soriano's been absolutely unbelievable for the Angels, Kevin, this year. It's kind of flying under the radar, but his strikeout prop is 5.5 tonight against the White Sox team to strike out nearly 10 times a game. I think it's a spot for the Angels to win, even though they've been struggling. And, the White Sox have, won 6 of the last 10, I believe? So, White Sox aren't brutally terrible, but with that being stated, Soriano's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. So I'm intrigued with a strikeout prop over 5.5 tonight, and kind of feels like an under baseball game to me as well. And I thought of you last night, Kevin. It wasn't great for me because I laid a 1.5 with my Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah.
But they were down 4-2, and I know this team so well. I'm like, don't worry about it. They'll come back. They'll hit a home run in the ninth. They'll win 6-4. 5-4. But I think you owe my boy Kyle Tucker an apology, because if this bet wins, you owe him. He's the one that came through with the big hit, Kevin. So you owe Kyle Tucker. You got to remember, all right, Tucker came through for me that game. Now you just need Denver to come back and finish off. But nice bet. Like, let's look at the series price now. So I loved your, the approach of this, right? You're getting ahead of it, and now suddenly you can maneuver as well. I'm not a big hedger and stuff like that, but you put yourself in a position now where you can bet the games, and now you've got yourself with the Denver Nuggets at plus 200 in your pocket, as opposed to minus 155 series favorites. That's what the Nuggets are currently.
And I'm surprised they're almost not bigger favorites. They're a decent-sized road favorite here in Game 6 against Minnesota. I mean, that's a 6.5-point spread right now. I think the Nuggets are set up well here. I wanted to tell you a quick Dodger story, Gabe, because I couldn't believe this. So last night, obviously, walk-off fashion against the Marlins tied to a Western Conference-based future. Last year, I did something similar. It was a Dodgers money line with the Thunder to win the West. And I'm like, let me go find out when it was. So, Gabe, April 28th.
Was it the same day?
Against the Marlins at home. Marlins, Tommy Edman walk-off to keep the Thunder ticket alive. Literally 1 day apart, same stadium, same opponent, walk-off fashion. I'm like, I didn't know that going into it. I had to look it up. So, honestly, I don't have many mean things to say about this Dodger baseball team. They really helped me out. No baseball team has ever helped me out more with basketball bets than the Los Angeles Dodgers.
It's a great way, though, guys, to sort of bump up the price of a future bet, or even the same game, same day, I should say. Like a good example today, Kevin. Yeah. I played Bayern Munich plus 1.5 goals. Right, so and they ended up losing 5-4. So I win that bet, and I have them parlay with the Boston Celtics and the San Antonio Spurs on the money line. So suddenly I got a much better price, right, than I would have tonight. So I'm a big fan of getting sort of a favorite bet. You know what I mean? Something that, you know what, listen, you can get ballsy and go, I'm going to do this plus 180 and add this to this, right? And I don't mind doing that once in a while. And in fact, tonight I actually have an edgier pick than I normally do with our best bets. But I'm a big fan of that. I do it like I did it for the Super Bowl this year, Kevin. Like basically for 2 weeks. Like, I went to the San Francisco Dawn game against Loyola Marymount. I was like, all right, every bet that I play, just put Seattle at the back end of it. Seattle at the back end of it. Seattle at the back end of it. I built up this big Seattle portfolio for a lower investment. That's smart betting. Right, that's smart betting, especially when you get into like the playoffs and futures. If you like a team, like Oklahoma City is a good example right now. They're going to be a tough team to beat. Let's be real, Kevin, especially with all the injuries. All right, you can talk about the Lakers getting guys back. Who's beating Oklahoma City in the West? Maybe San Antonio?
Maybe.
And just because you beat them in a regular season, that was probably not a good idea, because they're really going to be ready now. Right, and I don't think Jalen Williams played in those games, to be honest with you.
No, right? Now he's hurt again, which is interesting.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to be off for so long.
No, it's true. I mean?
They're going to be off, like they handle their business. They're going to rest up. So I'm sort of thinking of the Celtics as well, right? All right, we got Tatum back though. Brown's played a lot. Like, let's win this game. Let's rest up. Let's watch the Knicks and Hawks beat each other up for the next 5 days, however long it's going to take.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, quite honestly, especially if Detroit gets eliminated. Not that many people think Detroit's all that scary right now, but if they get eliminated, now Boston has home court throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs. I think a lot of people, Gabe, are going to start to bet NBA Finals exact matchup. Celtics versus Thunder. I think that's what's going to happen. I know that you've been in on
or Celtics Spurs, right? If you wanted just a little bit of like, all right, I got something covered. But like, who's more likely to lose even? Like, who's beating Boston? All right, like the Raptors and Cavs series, they're both good teams. Yeah. They're not winning Eastern Conference teams, right? I mean, I thought maybe I was thinking higher at Cleveland, or maybe I underestimated my Raptors a little bit, Kevin. But the Raptors could knock the Cavs out. Would it shock you?
No,
dude, it's a best of 2 or 3 right now. Yeah. Like, if they steal this win tomorrow, they could win Game 6 in Toronto, And it's game, set, match. And I don't like the narratives of, Harden's a loser and Mitchell in the playoffs and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, Jamal Shedd's causing Harden a lot of problems defensively right now, Kevin. It's just like, I don't know if he's a loser or not, but the Raptors have done a lot of good things. This is a winnable series for them, and then the Cavs are out of the way suddenly. Like you said, I mean, let's just give this thing to Boston right now.
It's Boston. Look, it feels like it's Boston or the Knicks, and I know that nobody wants.
And the Knicks, I don't buy into the Knicks fully.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The problem with the Knicks,
they can't
and
win
the
on
Cavs,
the road enough. The Knicks.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the Knicks or Cavs are locks to make it through this round, right? Like, here's the thing.
Yeah, like
about
it's
Boston
too helter-skelter with the Knicks,
yes.
Kevin. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a New York thing. I get it, but it's not just a New York thing. Even if you're outside looking at it, it's like, one game they look like, they could win the Eastern Conference. And the next game, it's like, they could lose this series, right?
100%.
And it's helter-skelter with the players. Oh, Bridges needs to play better. Oh, Hart needs to, Brunson's not playing well enough. Like, you can't live like that for 2 months, Kevin. You know what I mean? You can't live with that drama. Kendrick Perkins, say what you will about him, but he gets a lot of takes right, and there's something to it, Kevin. Dude, I remember Joel Embiid against the Sixers and the Raptors have played each other a million times over the years in the playoffs. I remember years ago, Joel Embiid, he called out the Philadelphia fans. And he said, I get that you're passionate and you're into it and stuff. But he said, we go to Toronto and the crowd is super supportive of their team. And he goes, we come back to Philadelphia, we miss a shot and the entire arena starts booing. And he goes, it has an effect on us. Right? And I think it's the same thing. Like, you could argue it shouldn't or this or that. But, Kevin, if you're a New York Knicks player, you can't help but feel this drama roller coaster that you're on all the time. Unless you just completely tune everything out. But it's the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, they can come back. They've done this before. They came back in the Stanley Cup. They were down 3-0. They sent it to 7. It's like, they can, but are they? Like, can you live like this all the time, down 3-1 in series all the time? Like, really? Is this the way you want to live? And we'll see. I do think the Knicks get it done tonight, but I'm not ready to lay the 6.5.
No, but I also think, like, if you look at Denver, who's trying to complete a comeback, it's like, well, how are we going to do this? Jokic has to be great. Murray has to be great. And everybody's coming along for the run. For the Knicks enter tonight. Hey, is Cat our best player or is it Brunson? Hey, is Bridges a starter or is it supposed to be Deuce McBride?
Well, you don't know what you're going to get. Like last time, you got a triple-double from Cat. Now you don't know. Like, I don't know what he's going to do
He
tonight.
scores 12 tonight. Nobody's surprised.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Exactly.
surprised. That's the Knicks. I like Brunson, though. All right, we're here with you guys on Game Time Decisions. And again, this is the part of the show where if it looks like I'm not all there, it's because I'm not. All right. Like I'm trying. Here's the one thing though that you'll like, Gabe. Like Tyron Stokes is doing this announcement right now with the Inside the NBA guys, and they showed a little highlight package. And Charles Barkley's like, "All right, we get it. You can score, but how about pass the ball? Like no passing highlights made it into the clip while the kid Stokes is sitting there, which was pretty good. I like that.
Like you said, it's there's a lot going on, including I'll just drop this in here, even though there were grumblings of this, but Pete Thamel is reporting that it's basically done.
Yeah.
It's agreed to. 76-team NCAA tournaments moving forward, men's and women's.
I don't understand. Like, how does that work? What is the
and I'm all
format
for women's
actually gonna
basketball,
be?
but do we need a 76 women's tournament, bro? It's team
Certainly
tournament.
not. Certainly
Like, come
not.
on. Come on, guys. What are we doing?
No.
I'm all for equal stuff. And, hey, put them on the same flights. They should stay in the same hotels, eat the same food, all that. All equality. But let's not be stupid. We don't need to see Bowling Green's women's team play in the NCAA tournament. Sorry, Bowling Green. I didn't mean to pick on you. You're the first team to pop in my head.
The thing is, we just had a situation with the men's tournament where everybody was like, wow, this is the worst bubble we've ever seen. None of these
so now they're
teams
all in,
belong
Kevin. So
here.
Indiana's in, Oklahoma's in, 17 and 16, Auburn's in.
But
18 and 17 gets you in now, point blank.
And
this
is
won't
what I
be
don't
this,
like.
and they're not putting Johnny Cinderella in. This doesn't help Iona, Kevin, right? No, this doesn't help Iona. This helps Ole Miss. This helps LSU. This helps Oklahoma. This helps Indiana. In the same way, an expanded college football playoff doesn't help anybody besides Penn State and Ole Miss. That's what the expanded playoffs were made for. Well, you guys miss out every year by one game. Let's just change it so now you'll get in. Right? It's never for it's not for the Cinderellas, guys.
Can I tell you what? And you and I have talked about this before. What I don't like with the way that in changing the format, right? You have this situation where the 16 seeds, these automatic qualifiers, are now actually not guaranteed a real tournament game, right? What you're going to end up now is more qualifiers. You either make the tournament or you don't. So now it's like, oh, you got an at-large kind of bid, where now the 13s are playing the 13s and the 12s are playing. No, it's very messy. And I know people are like, don't you want more? It's not that I don't want more, but we've got a good amount. We've got a really, really good amount here. And it just feels like a total mess. I don't understand how it works. And you're right to bring up the women's
Some
game.
Some in the room wanted to go to 96, just for the record.
At that point, what are we doing? At that point, what are we doing?
Well, it's funny, and this is off topic, but the CFL has 9 teams. They just announced a new playoff format that 8 of the 9 teams will make the playoffs.
That's a whole new format?
It used to be 6 of the 9. And tough if you didn't make it. Now they have this play-in. So you can play in, and if you win, you get a shot at, to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's doing it, Kevin. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. But the NBA play-in, the NHL now is being pressured about it. Hey, how come we don't have the little bubble teams? How come we don't have a 12th and 11th place team playing for a chance to get in as a wild card in hockey? Think of the ratings, right? Think of the ratings. Think of and then boom, it's another week of games. So that's essentially what we got here, Kevin. We're gonna add on a weekend of action here. Or we're gonna add on another double.
That's what I do.
Because
Tuesday, Wednesday are just going to be
that's what I'm saying. So do we crank?
Now?
Yeah.
But Gabe, here, how about trying to fill out brackets now? We're not going to know the brackets until midnight Wednesday. How does that work?
And a bracket, the actual page is going to be it's going to be like an ancient map. You're going to be rolling out the scroll here's my bracket. 76 to 76. Yeah. But college football playoffs going to go to 24. They're already pushing for it, right? That's what they want. And surprisingly enough, it was actually ESPN that said, "Whoa, we don't want to handle a 2014 playoff," right? But they eventually, that's what we're going to get to. The watering down process is real with everything that we do, right? The World Cup of Soccer this year, same thing. They have more teams than they ever did, Kevin. World Cup of Soccer used to be really hard to get.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, everybody's in. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those deals.
The thing though, Gabe, like with the college football expanding or like even the NBA expanding, it doesn't feel as many. Like 76, 64, 68 was already huge, right? Like it feels gargantuan now. And there's already like this learning curve. Like,
yeah, there's not really like 8 more good teams.
Like we're not going to know who these guys are. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not that many better teams. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like college football, you can make the argument before. I didn't like the argument, but you can make the argument.
They
go,
listen. One of the 5 best teams in the country with Notre Dame not being there. So an expansion is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like college football, you can make the argument and go, yeah, listen, you might not love it, but listen, there's a lot of good 10-2 teams that are getting screwed over here. Like, why do they get in and they don't? Let's just make this so we can end this little argument. College basketball, you and I just pointed out. All right, so good for you. Steve Pearl and Auburn gets in now. You're 18-17. Congratulations. Indiana, you're in. All right, 17-14, you're in. Right? Oh, yeah, you got an 8-10 conference record now. You're in. Because we saw, right, like, Miami of Ohio didn't win their conference, right? And you saw the lack of respect that they got, right? It was like, yeah, screw you. We don't care how good of a year you had. So, like, that's the future. It is what it is. We can't change it, but it's not great. There's a lot of things wrong with sports right now, I can tell you.
Yeah, I hear that.
We didn't even get to the Sorsby stuff in Texas Tech.
I mean,
it's one bombshell after another.
So for those that like don't fully understand, that is a Texas Tech team that through NIL and coaching were a college football playoff bye team, and they were looking to
we're expected to be better this year.
Yes.
Like quarterback play. Morton held them back a little last year.
Yes.
He was okay, but yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Now
Morton
they got their quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
People thought Brennan Sorsby could be a round
No, they were national
championship
championship contenders for real. Now, listen, they lost Bailey. They lost Rodriguez, right? They lost some defensive guys, but they are one of the biggest, richest teams in college football right now. Like, they are the poster child for the NIL era. Now they're potentially in trouble because it's proven that they knew about Sorsby, and I guess you can't sign someone if you know, like, they acted not in good faith. They could have problems on their hands now.
Yeah, total mess. We'll get all the best bets after the break on SportsGrid. I got it. I know. Gabe, I think it was "Get Off My Lawn." I believe was the segment.
Man, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
If we didn't, appreciate all of you for tuning in, and we didn't enjoy giving out our picks, I might spend this whole segment just like screaming at a bunch of different things. The NBA's tanking
the NBA
plans.
now, yeah.
This,
the NBA's
Stokes
tanking
went to
plan.
Kansas, by the way. I'm not happy about that.
I posted this to you just for the record quickly. We'll get to the picks, but the Women's Hockey League, the PWHL, brilliant anti-tanking strategy. Basically, once you're eliminated from the playoffs, there's a new standings that count. Mm-hmm. And you get rewarded for being the best, not the worst. So they give the pick to the team. Once you're eliminated from the playoffs, your points start counting. And that's like you want an incentive to keep on playing as the season goes on. You can't find a better incentive than that, Kevin.
Yeah, well, apparently the NBA's big plan is the three worst teams who clearly need the most talent should have less of a chance to get the first overall pick. The stupidity,
Dude,
makes
the
my
NBA's
head
got
hurt.
a million problems, and Silver's on TV talking about an NBA Europe League. How about you worry about the North American NBA League, Silver?
Are blowing their legs out every postseason, like Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Tyrese
everyone's
Halliburton.
out with Achilles, he torn ACL.
He's like, you know what the problem is? The Wizards haven't been very good. Oh, thanks, Adam. No, great. You fixed it. Great. Awesome. Jalen Williams, hamstring, gone. Luka, injured. Reeves, injured. You know what the problem is? The Jazz are bad. Who cares? Who cares if the Jazz are bad? Gosh.
His hockey team is good, though. All right.
I got to tell you, Utah, they're lucky that, they can kind of autopilot that thing because the Mammoth getting good, that guy will never pay attention to the Jazz.
That really, exactly. It was really smart of him to bring a hockey team in.
Gabe, you want to lead off here? Go through your card tonight.
All right. I brought this up earlier. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't like laying double-digit points. It even came down to 10. Give me the Boston Celtics minus the points. Give me the Spurs minus the points. All three games that they've won in the series, they've won by 12 or more. The one they lost, Wembanyama got hurt in. I think Portland will play well early, but eventually they'll get worn out. And I don't think San Antonio will have a killer instinct in them tonight to finish this thing off. I'm going Johnny Square Public on this one. Home team parlay, Celtics to win, Knicks to win, Spurs to win. I think the Knicks win, but I think it's going to be really close to the point spread. I think it could be a real game there at the Garden. I kind of lean with the over at the Garden there, but give me the money line parlay. NHL hockey, biggest night in 15 years in Buffalo tonight. It's the Buffalo Sabres are going to win their first playoff series in a long time tonight. The only thing I'll say is hockey teams are good coming off of being humiliated. They really are. And the Sabres really punked the Bruins at home the other day, 6-1. So, the Bruins are going to come out with their skates on fire tonight. But Buffalo have met the standard all year in tough spots. Lindy Ruff's been through enough wars to guide them through this. Give me the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Here's the ballsy play of the night. Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild to go to overtime, plus 300. This series, this just feels like an OT one tonight. They're so evenly matched. They're tied at 2. Game 5 on the line. This one's going to be so tight. I don't think anyone's getting blown out in this one. I think plus 300 is definitely, I lean the Stars winning, guys, but plus 300 overtime, I wanted to give you something pricey and nice tonight. And we'll wrap it up. I'm going to die on the sword, Kevin. I'm about to lose a parlay with the Oilers and the Ducks, but give me one more win, Edmonton, tonight. Give me one more win. And Connor McJesus will rise from the ashes and get it done tonight.
He better. Tomorrow, if they lose, tune in. We'll do Gabe's top 10 all-time hockey skaters just to see where McDavid lands.
He will not be on.
By the way, I do lean with you on the Stars. I may actually play them when we get off air, but the NBA has been really good to me, I feel, since the postseason started, and that's where I'm focused tonight. Tyrese Maxey over 10.5 rebounds and assists. Embiid is back, and I think that's why we're getting a good number. In 28 of 35 regular season games with Embiid, Maxey went over this number. That is 80%. even money. I think Maxey could flirt with a double-double in this game. Don't mind his points, rebounds, and assists if you want. My favorite bet is Brunson over the 26.5 points. This is a long time for Brunson to not have 30 in a series. The last 3 times Brunson has played going under 20, 44, 40, 27. I took Brunson up to 40 tonight, actually. I think he goes off. I think the Blazers are sneaky live, took them plus 11.5. Behind the scenes, Cardinals money line out and running. Bryce Terang for a couple of hit run RBI from Chris. And then there that man goes, Josh Doan to record a point, Gabe, for the Buffalo Sabres.
Hey, bonus pick, De'Aaron Fox over 17.5.
Whoa! A little bonus pick. How lucky
Let's
are
go.
you? We'll be back tomorrow. Absolutely.